Okay, so what has happened this week that's interesting or boring? Here we go. First piece up is this beautiful rendition on the Suntour fork. So there's a collaboration between SR Suntour and the artist Natalia Pulido. She is a Chilean artist and mountain biker who's living in Colorado Springs right now. And through this collab, they hope to promote diversity and attainability for minorities in the cycling industry. So those pictures are screening across. You check out the beautiful artwork she's done on this fork. I mean, it's truly fantastic. So 100% of these proceeds are going to be donated to the Women's Mountain Bike Association to help empower the community of women and minorities, fill these gaps in cyclists and through rides and through rider clinics, it sounds like. So if you want to enter the raffle for a chance at this beautiful fork, I'll have a link down below for you. Staying on this theme, some interesting stats have come out during the pandemic in terms of ridership and female cyclists in particular. So the National Bicycle Dealers Association did a consumer research study, and what they found is that nearly 50% of the female cyclists riding today either started cycling during the pandemic or returned to it after a layoff of riding. They also highlighted the difference. So 56.8% of the adult riders are male currently in the industry, 42.6% are female. But the research also found that 33.4% of the women cyclists started cycling for the first time, and 22% returned to cycling during the pandemic. So this is great news. Now this is an interesting piece of study that happened in the cycling industry in terms of mountain bikers, obviously, as we're talking about, mountain bikers and their attitudes towards sustainability and the natural environment. So this was published in the International Journal of Environmental Research and Public Health in 2021, titled Trail Use, Motivations, and Environmental Attitudes of 3,780 European Mountain Bikers, with the question, what is sustainable? So I think what the big takeaway from this, the one result they highlighted was this: connection to nature was an important source of motivation, and the use of mountain bike trails has increased riders' appreciation of and willingness to protect nature, with a large majority having taken direct action to do so. Mountain bikers are prepared to contribute towards trail maintenance through the provision of labor or financially. Their conclusion being that European mountain bikers care about the sustainability of the natural environment, and self-reported attitudes and behaviors that suggest a willingness to reduce environmental impact and actively protect nature. So this is a bit of a hot topic in trail building, right? The perception that mountain bikers don't give a rat's ass for the environment that they're using, when in fact trail building now, and I'm sure in the last 10 years, builders have made a stern effort to build trail that doesn't need constant maintenance, that drains properly, that takes into account the natural environment around it so it doesn't disturb it. So little studies like this, little pieces of information like this go a long way when mountain bike trail groups are seeking to get land access permission for building from landowners, be it city or private. All right, so Kona Bicycles has been acquired by Kent Outdoors. What could this mean for the brand? Who knows? Time will tell. But could it mean an increase in global reach? Could it mean, well, I don't really want to speculate on what might happen negatively with the brand, because Kona is a brand I still love to this day. My first real downhill bike was that blue and yellow flamed Kona Stab. And after that, within 10 or 12 years of cycling, I probably owned nearly a dozen or close to at least a dozen different Kona bikes. I love that brand. I love the ethos of the brand. I love the people that I met at Kona. Like, a stellar group. It's a big company that acts like a passionate small group, and you can tell. So the CEO of Kent Outdoors, who now CEO of this venture, claims to be a long-time mountain bike fan, saying, quote, "since the days of coaster brakes." So we'll see how this plays out for Kona. I hope it all works out well, because I absolutely love the brand. Now, Trek Bicycles is at it again. Not in a bad way, perhaps, but they have bought the Washington, D.C. retail chain Spokes, etc. So another bike shop acquisition by Trek. Trek and Specialized have been doing this for some time now. I don't know, are we seeing a slow transition from the bike model where it looks more like the automotive model? We're going to have branded dealerships in areas, and what will that mean for other shops that may be surrounding that were or are dealers for those brands? Are they going to lose that dealership in favor of one centralized massive dealer for the brand? Who knows? But it looks like it's been going that way. All right, this is a good one. Mechanics have been petitioning for the end of the disposable and non-repairable bike that exists in our industry. I'm talking Canadian Tire, Walmart, Costco, those sort of bikes. And if you're a mechanic, you can completely understand this petition, because these cheaply made bikes, they have derailleurs that are flexy and they lose adjustment really quick. The bottom brackets fall apart, or there's zero grease and they feel awful after a couple rides. Headsets seize up quickly. Suspension forks rust and seize really fast. Brake pads sometimes require an extra spacer to make them stay tight so they don't shift during braking. Things like this. Cheap stuff comes out of adjustment really fast. I mean, the list of things is endless. So what this petition wants to do is they're looking for bikes to be made to last at least 500 hours before needing any major service or component adjustments, major ones. But ultimately, for these companies to stop making bikes that are designed to fail 20 times faster than your smartphone operating system right now. They just want them to last. These are the bikes that are typically $150, $300 and will maybe make it a season or two before needing major service or part replacements, whereas a good $600 bike from a bike shop will last far longer with minor adjustments to things and just needing wear and tear items replaced like the cheap bike would, but you're not going to be replacing major components or the whole bike every season or two. The Sault St.Marie Cycling Club has announced the Crimson Ridge Fat Bike Race, February 20th, 2022. So if you're up there, sounds like you can't miss this one. I've seen pictures of the trails that are being groomed up there, and my gosh, they're freaking fantastic. So if you're a winter-loving rider, get your fat bike, sign up, and head on up. Sticking to race news, it looks like the Paris to Ancaster is going to be back for 2022 at the moment. They are referring to it as the P2A 100, touting it to be longer and tougher than before with a new start. Along with the 100, it sounds like there'll be a P2A 70 with a new start in Cambridge, and the P2A 45, which will again start in St. George. Registration has officially opened, so get over there and sign up if that's something you want to do. In some mountain bike racing news that's happened the last little bit, so Johan Borelli has signed with EXT and TRP for what sounds like a very long time. Brett Reeder and Trek have parted ways. No word where he's going yet. Freeride legend Darren Bearclough has hung up his Red Bull helmet, but he's still going to be doing stuff obviously in the industry, just not racing or competing. And probably one of the coolest things recently is Nico Malali is racing under his own bike, a self-designed bike that's being built by a legendary builder in the US. So jump on board and check out some of the crazy videos and stories going on about that. That'll be an interesting one to watch this year. In some product releases, Raceface has released a new Atlas pedal. As usual, it's being offered in some pretty crazy colorways, but they're indicating better durability, and it's backed by a lifetime warranty. Okay, let's highlight something that's really, I mean, some people will find it awesome. I think it's freaking ridiculous. You're gonna see a picture of it up on the screen right now. DT Swiss has released a series of levers that go on the left side of your bar, and it's 3 levers stacked on top of each other. Lockouts and droppers. 3 of them. I'm pretty sure somebody's knee is going to take that out so freaking fast. And what happened to the declutter? It looks crazy. There's so much there going on. I don't know what to do. And that dropout lever is at the bottom. It's looking like it's gonna be pretty hard to get your thumb down there as often as we're using droppers these days to actually make it useful. But see what happens when people start riding it. So there's some interesting, not so interesting, whatever stuff from the mountain bike world this week. So follow, subscribe. I'm gonna try and do this every week and highlight some awesome things I'm finding out there for you guys. Take care.